The Alliance for Community Transformation, ACT, unveiled its pilot peanut butter pantry program at a ceremony Wednesday at the Seeds Resource Center in Vieux-Fort. The pantry will provide vulnerable individuals with access to healthy food choices.
A space where all NGOs, non-governmental organizations, people from the private sector, also the offices within the government of St. Lucia, where people come together to actually facilitate progress, facilitate empowerment, facilitate resilience, and to give support for what we call people with vulnerabilities and people specifically who are at risk to end up in criminal activity.
Social advocate Dr. Stephen King stressed matching residents' needs with available resources in a fair way.
And that's why Vieux-Fort is ground zero. Vieux-Fort has a wonderful history, but also there's a lot of tragedy in that, as there always is in history. Vieux-Fort has been neglected. Vieux-Fort has, in many ways, over centuries, and many people have tried. So we know that. And by the way, this is no political conversation. This is a societal, historical, and current and future conversation. Because each and every one of us here and listening and seeing, the time for action is now. You have to put aside the petty differences. You have to put aside your selfishness. Why? Because violence is an epidemic in this land. And an epidemic is a crisis and requires crisis intervention, which means all hands on deck.
Community activist Dr. Venus Cherry conceptualized a similar initiative in Crozile in July 2022. He said tackling crime is a collective effort.
I know all too well the community effort and what it takes for us to put away all our differences. We might not get along on certain issues. We might disagree on issues, but we can't disagree on the fact that crime is all of us and an issue for the entire country, because one way or the other, whether you live in the ghetto or you live in a gated community, crime will affect your bottom line, whether it affects the tourism industry, which your business might rely on, or we all rely on now because it's our industry, whether it affects just your business in a community where people refuse to come to buy items from you because they're scared of that environment. Crime affects all of us. Maybe some more than others, but all of us. And so it's going to take a collective effort.
The peanut butter pantry will also provide clothing, shoes, and educational materials. ACT is also gearing up to launch a number of other initiatives, including an after-school program, tertiary education scholarships, and parenting workshops. The alliance was initiated in January 2024 to create safer spaces for communities. Gino Filippi, HTS News Force.